Welcome, my friends. It's a pretty quiet Tuesday afternoon at the Woburn Memorial High School. Since all the children are on vacation this week. And you and I are here with the young ladies here that are going to put us on the air, get us out into the community.
Eddie had a good Easter.
Yes, yep. Yeah. We had a little...
the grandkids and kids. Yeah, I did
grandchildren, too. Couple of the young ones. The middle schoolers are tough to grind up now. And then since half of the people are on vacation, they went away to Florida.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't get the crowd usually. But basically,
the little ones
the little ones have fun, yeah. And you need a couple of middle schoolers to take the little ones around and help them find the eggs. The eggs, yeah. So the adults can all huddle in the corner and gossip.
Have a glass of wine.
have a glass of something. That's right. All right, there's not a lot of business going on in City Hall, but some of it's kind of important as far as I'm concerned. And it has nothing to do with anything, but I'm not for raising fees on anything, but the building department got their way and they raised the rates. The City Council voted 7-2 to raise all the rates. I'm not for raising rates.
And I'm not either.
No, I don't. And I don't like the argument that you can raise them because you can. That's not a good argument. I mean, if they need the money, yes. But I mean, if the mayor thinks that raising the cost of building permits is good, then he's thinking in the wrong way. It's good for him because he doesn't have to raise the tax rate because they raise all this extra dough.
It's the smallest. It's the smallest. People will say, "Oh, it's a small amount." Well, any amount is an amount. That's the first thing.
That's right.
The second thing is, I listened to that debate. First of all, I thought the rates were not going to change at what I heard at the city council meeting. But then it went into committee, and I guess there was some change of minds, and 3 or 4 changed their minds. And how they changed it was this. The building inspector gets an application for a permit.
That's correct.
So he's got to send it, it's got to go to conservation, it's got to go to the engineer, it's got to go to the planning board. So their analogy was that those 3 departments have to look at that permit and see if they agree that it meets their rules and regulations.
So they can get a piece of the $30?
So they're not going to get a piece of the And furthermore, let's say that we had no permits. Does the city engineer stay home?
No, he gets paid.
Does the planning director stay home?
No, he gets paid.
They get paid.
No matter what.
No matter what.
That's right.
Whether there's any permits, there's 200 permits.
That's right.
Take a look at the paper, and you looked what I looked. It was in the paper the other night. All the permits.
All the permits.
Oh, it was 300?
There was approximately 300 permits in the month of March. And if you take any number pull a number out of the air, if even $1, you know, that's $300 they get. So, you know, I think over the course of a year, you multiply it out, they're raising some serious money there. You know, I think they don't have any problem meeting their own salaries, and why should they meet their salaries? Because that's already in the budget.
It's in the budget.
Salaries are in there.
We're paying for it.
So all that money that is raised goes into free cash that the mayor doesn't have to raise your taxes to get his hands on. So he's probably a pretty happy guy. But I believe I agree more with my alderman, Mr. Gately, that raising things for just the case of raising them is not good. Is not good business.
This city's a working man city. We're known for good taxes and good water rates and sewer rates, which we're watching now because the water meters will be coming. That's going to be the third rail again. So if our rates for building inspector, building commissioners, permits, remodeling, decks, porches, whatever the item is, if we're lower than Stoneham, Winchester, Woburn, Burlington, Lexington, who cares?
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, that's good for us. I mean, I look at it and say, hey, that's good.
I hope the contractor gives you that. If he charges you, if you got to pay $100 for a permit, he's coming in the house for $100 right there.
Let me tell you something. The increase is going on. The person that's getting the work
job done.
Come on. I mean, if anybody thought, well, the contractor will eat it up, no. It's going to be eaten up by the person that's having the work done. So I think it's a mistake.
I do too. It's a mistake. NuPath is having the Taste of Spring on May the 7th this year, so make sure you mark that on the calendar. because we're going to have the shoe up there, the Easy Gourmet. He's going to be up there and walking around and interviewing some of the people. It's getting to be a bigger and bigger operation every year. And it's a pretty successful fundraiser for NuPath. So
I was just
I'm
watching
pretty
the
happy
show
about
before
that.
you left the house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What was he cooking?
Making Irish pork chops.
Oh, yeah. Well, what does he know about Irish? Nothing. You know? You got to stick to Italian food. He's a good kid, though.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
And he
Tries
was-
hard. He works hard. Does it all. You know? And let you know about it.
I asked him what he does with the flowers that Charlie gives him, or the bottle of wine from the wine
Yeah.
in Burlington. I said, any wine left, I could pick it up.
Yeah,
and
he could
come
pick
over."
it up, yeah.
He said, no, there's
No, there's
left-
nothing wine.
No leftovers.
He blames the crew for drinking.
girl-
it.
the
Yeah,
girl-
he
the
said the
girls
girls
have-
drank the whole
they eat
quart of
good.
wine. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm showing up, you know. He's inviting me
He's
up to help him
is
on
he?
one of his cooks.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
He's having a guy come in that he works with to do a show, he told me. He's good. He's good. He tries hard. He does it. He does his work. He knows what he's talking about. I don't know how his cooking is. I ate it a couple of times. It was all right as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not the gourmet guy. All right, Human Resources, Mrs. Cox is to retire. Now, Mrs. Cox is one of your favorite people in working as an employee of the city of Woburn. Because you could tell me right off the top of your head how much her pay was when she came here.
Between 46 and 47,000.
And now it's how much?
It's in the low 90s.
Low 90s.
And she came here under Bob Devon when he was mayor.
Yeah.
And in 2 or 3 of her controversies that she got involved in, one time Bob Devon made a statement. I still have the paper, so if Bob's listening to me, he said she was the best human resource director in the country,
Yeah.
not in this state, but in the country.
country.
Well, she wasn't, in my opinion. So, and so I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I think she was a character. And you know what? Don't take my word. You're going to say, "Oh, meanie." Now, go ask John Curran, see what he thinks of her.
Yeah.
She cost John Curran his 3rd term.
Yeah, she did.
And I was at that meeting, and John Curran wanted to go into executive session, and she stood right up there like she reminded me a lot of a nun,
Yeah.
the nuns. And
How
she
they-
said,
how they present
"Oh no,
themselves."
I want you to hear what I want to say out in this public."
Yeah.
And she cost them, and I mean, I think it's true. In this article, it says that she cost Curran his 3rd term, so.
Well, if she rides off into the sunset, I hope she has
Well,
some
good
health
luck
and
to
wealth.
her.
Yeah, good
And,
luck to her. I
you
don't
got-
never
you-
met her. I don't know who she is.
And you got to remember too, Eddie, she sued the city of Woburn, and she got paid, and I'm going to say it's somewhere between 30 and 70,000. I'm leaning more to the 70, and she continued her employment. What other department head would sue their employer and win and settle a case and still stay?
Yeah. None I know of.
Only in Woburn.
Woburn? I
So-
don't think she was here long enough to have enough strings to make everybody happy.
I think people were afraid of her.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's
Possible.
I do.
Possible.
But I want to tell you this. It's a city council appointment.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's going to
so
be a new one coming along here pretty soon.
maybe it's a job that could be eliminated.
Yeah, maybe.
Dick Gately's been saying it all along. Eliminated.
Yeah. But usually people who want things eliminated want to have a little bit of a say to fill the void themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it gets eliminated, but I have to run down with a few names myself.
Because you know the fire department, public works, and the police department, those are your big major departments.
Yeah.
School department,
Yeah.
they all have their own human resource. I mean, they take care of themselves
They take it,
internally.
yeah.
They keep records, they keep their sick leave, vacation, this and that. And if there was a disgruntled employee, let the mayor hold a
Yeah,
hearing. Let
let
him,
him take
he's
care.
the boss.
That's
So I think it could be eliminated.
Yeah, I might be convinced that that might be a way to go. That's right. All right, Ms. Gatta, we're going to look at a little tape here that Lauren got over the weekend at the Heartbreak Hill on the marathon. And while we're looking at that, no? Oh, yeah, it's right here. Okay, there it is. Heartbreak Hill coming
Is
around.
that you, Lauren,
That's what it
right
is.
there?
They're coming around the corner.
Oh, no. She didn't run, but she was right there, huh? Heartbreak Hill.
Yeah, that's the beginning of, there's a firehouse there.
Eddie, you ran that, huh?
Yes, I did.
Not this
don't
time. How
know.
many years ago?
25 years ago.
Oh, baby.
42 Woburn residents completed the race this year. 42 Woburn residents. And the Woburn Public Media Center Board Chairman Siobhan Curran completed her 14th marathon yesterday. Now that's an what would you call that? That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is.
You know, because being a young mother and having the opportunity to go out there and train, I don't care if it takes all day. If you can, as long as you can keep moving. I'm not so big on people who walk the distance, you know, which is a pretty good walk besides.
Sure.
But I mean, if you can jog along and get through in 4 or 5 hours, I think that's pretty good.
I can't do it.
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't. Right now.
I got a hard time. I try and go out here and lope around the track once in a while. I can't do that either. So it's just your legs are gone. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. My mind is saying, oh yeah, right, yeah, but forget it. No. As soon as I get 10 feet, I say, that was a stupid decision you just made.
Oh.
So that was very good. So that'll take care of our pumping up the board. The board chairman should be happy about.
What'd you say? 22 from Woburn?
No, 42.
42 Woburn residents ran that.
Yeah, completed.
Congratulations.
So that they must have got that off the pad. This was information came to us from the patch.
Congratulations.
So they maybe went through the names on there. That would have been a while doing that.
Yeah.
All right, school department stuff. I don't know much about this. I had a conversation with Dr. Reese, fine young man, and at the time we were just getting to know each other a little bit, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him about MCAS, which I don't even know what that means, and now we got this new one, PARCC, community something. I forget what it means.
For the younger grades, Eddie, right?
No, it's all the way through the high school.
Oh, the whole thing?
Yeah, but they're not going to do, there's like a volunteer, some classes have it, some schools have it, and it's a way that they're going to start testing the children on a computer instead of with a pencil.
Oh.
Yeah. So what they have to do is get the Wi-Fi going and get all this stuff, get the school up to snuff as far as the computers are concerned.
And they're going to take the...
And that's going to be the money, see?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Kissel, who's on the school committee, says, well, we spend all this money, and what if the state doesn't adopt that particular method of testing?
Yeah.
So then they say, well, the future says that all of these things are going to be done on a computer anyway. So whether it says PARCC, CRA, whatever, it says A, B, C, D, it's all going to be done on a computer, so that money has to be spent anyway. So that's going to be the big change. Now, I don't know how involved you were when your children were in school, because you worked. I worked too, but I worked at night. And my kids went to the Shamrock School, so I used to be around during the daytime, so I could go to the Shamrock School and talk to the teachers and do some of that stuff. Now, they've changed the way they teach the kids, I'll bet you 5, 6 times in the past 25 years.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know why they don't get one program and stick to it for like 10 years to see if we're making up ground or losing ground or what ground or what's going on. Every once in a while you read a thing and say, oh, the kids from Israel or China or something, they're all smarter than us. You know, and then we do this here and then we change it, you know.
Eddie, with preschool and kindergarten, time the kids get into the first grade, I've got...
Oh, they're way ahead.
I got a granddaughter that's going to be in the 3rd grade in September. Yep. And she's in the 2nd grade. I want to tell you right now, she was, I mean, I see her, try to see her at least twice a week, sometimes 3. Some of the words that she comes out with, you know, Papa, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Huh? All I know was, no, I don't agree. Papa, that is, and then then I say, what did you say? Yeah. That's totally ridiculous.
Totally ridiculous, man. That's a proof. That is a proof of it right there.
So, idiot, the mind.
The kids are way ahead.
Something.
And I think when I talked to Dr. Reese, we were talking about early childhood education. He thinks like 4 years old is about time for them, because earlier than that, they're not ready, you know.
Yeah.
So you get them in school at 4. I didn't go to school till I was 7.
Yeah, so I'm 6 and
So now you're talking
Yeah.
3 or 4 years in school. Now
Yeah.
these kids can go to school. They can read. They can paint. They know their phone number. When I went to school, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
We were too busy playing games or doing something else. When I went to school, they said, "Okay, you got to read Dick and Jane and the dog Spot and all that stuff." They taught you how to read the colors, give you crayons,
Yeah.
and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they taught you. I didn't know all that stuff. Now my grandchildren, like you say, your grandchildren comes in the room and you can have a conversation with them.
Yeah,
4 or 5 years old.
They got both of them now sitting there Sunday, and I says, "What's that?" It's a Kindle.
Oh, they get Kindles. Yeah,
Kindles.
they get
I'm saying Kindles.
Yeah.
You know what? I used to listen with my father to Philco radio.
I know that.
You know. So, anyways,
It's
hey,
really something.
it is.
Surette staying for another year. I guess you got to get his ducks in a row or whatever. Who knows? You know what I mean? The cynic would say, "Oh, they caught him doing something."
Well,
but I know Jerry for a long time, so he's a good kid.
Yeah,
But I'm sure Scott's very happy to have him there because he's going to build a new school. He certainly knows how to build schools.
You know, I saw him the day that this came out, but I knew he was in deep thought when he looked at me, and you know, and then I had got the paper later that day. Well, let me say this to you. I wish that it was different, that the city council didn't start in interviews and advertisement.
Yeah.
But, and I wish that they had said this in December or January, but I wish, but there's no harm done. The city council voted to extend him. He's on a contract. It's not going to cost us any more money. And
What's he say? He got he got school bills to pay. I bet.
yeah, he said to, I remember when he was asking me about a car that I was in, and I said to him, "I'm spending my kid's inheritance
On the car.
And I said, "What are you in City Hall getting a check?" And he said, "No," he says, I'm spending mine on tuition." And I said, "Well, you should have been like me and had not so bright kids, and you got bright ones."
Yeah,
so
there you
you
go.
know what I mean? And he laughed. And but anyways, I wish him well. I think, let me say this to you. I'm very comfortable with him where he is, because I've shown you this before. See these lines? Jerry makes them do this.
Come together.
Come together.
That's right. That's what you got to
He
do.
does. He does. So,
Yeah, balance sheets and all that kind of stuff.
good luck, Jerry.
Yeah. The school department's ready for a showdown with the mayor. The mayor said they could have 4% higher this year than last year. That's a pretty good raise, 4%.
It is.
But they have so many things going on. They're at 5 now. They don't seem to be able to get any lower. And then they decided to do something about taking the raises out of the
union
pay.
money,
So
That's going to blow up.
yeah. So that's somebody's going to be doing a lot of fancy talking next week or the next couple of weeks anyway.
Well, it was at 7, wasn't it? 7 something, and then they got it down to 5, and it's still over what the mayor wanted, and they cut that. I watched some of the school committee meeting, and they cut that $300,000 or $330 out of it. Still is over what the mayor wanted now. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. They have a wish list. As you know, you watch the
Oh
department.
yeah, he
They
gave
come
him
in,
he
you
gave
know.
the, I think the
know.
the superintendent gave him a list of like 10 items. I guess the important one first, all the way down the line, so they could pick any ones off. And I guess the ones they picked off were the ones that had the raises in there. I'm not sure how that works or whose raises or what they're talking about.
When
or whatever.
Joe Alia was in here with us, I mean, we talked about number of employees. I said 21. I think he came up with 18. I think 17 or 18 new
Yeah.
employees. I would imagine some of those jobs have probably been eliminated, in their cut again. Hey, it's negotiations. The mayor will handle it, and
Yeah, I think they
he's
do.
done pretty good in the past with them.
Yeah, he's done very well.
And you know what, Eddie, he's been kind to them too.
Yeah, he has.
Because if they needed money for
At a
something
later
that-
date.
At a later
Yep,
date,
yep.
you know, you know, different programs that they're running out of money if they do. He's giving it to them, so, hey,
And now he's going to say, I'm going to build you a new school. Shut up.
yeah.
You know? But then the other people will say, well, we're going to close one. That means we're going to get rid of 10 teachers and a principal. That don't work. That
Not
never
gonna happen.
worked either, no.
No.
Because there's so many people leave through attrition that keeps moving around and all that stuff. But it's a pretty busy situation. I guess the Woburn Fire Department had a big hand in helping the Burlington Fire Department up at the bowling alley up there. And,
That was almost a brand.
brand new,
Well,
it
it
was
was
ready to
almost
open,
finished.
they said.
Yeah. What was it, King?
King's Bowl, yeah.
Is it that's well, I'll tell you, the person that gives me advice once in a while is my wife. She says to me, that's a national
Chain?
chain.
Yeah,
King's Bowl.
yeah.
And I didn't.
All these bowling alleys are altogether different. They're not like the Woburn Bowlerdrome, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? These places are like nightclubs now. I mean, you go there, on a date, you can sit and have a few drinks, maybe
And
a
bowl,
sandwich, bowl.
and eat.
Eat, yeah, you can, so it's altogether different. But I guess the place was ready to open in 2 weeks, and listening to them, it almost burnt to the ground.
Yeah, geez,
So now they're going to do it. The guy who owns it says he's going to do it over. He's going to do it again.
I have to take a ride, Eddie, and find out where that third road is.
I go up there. You know where the Victoria Station used to
Yeah.
be? So say if you get off of 128 and you go down up to Burlington, up to Pike.
Yeah.
So now Victoria Station be on your left.
Yeah.
So now you go up to the next street on the left is
Okay.
3rd Street.
And you've gone
Yeah, I've
in-
been up there.
Have you seen
Wegmans?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, last time I was up there, it was just all steel and stuff. It's a big building, but they got a big garage with it too, so. And their attitude is that when you go shopping at Wegmans for groceries, they want you to stay there all day. You're gonna go there all day, you're gonna be entertained there. Yeah, like Disneyland.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? These stores are all changing. You know what I mean? This is the Stop and Shop and Demoulas. They must be. Demoulas got his prices right, but
Burlington gave out, what, 7 more new licenses for alcoholic beverages or something? Just
Yeah.
recently I read, they got 5 new restaurants being built.
yep.
You know, I mean, they are really hitting,
And they'll be hitting that tax too. It's treating them very well up there.
yeah.
You know, that excise tax.
Geez, I'd like to get us going on Commerce Way, you know?
I know.
Just
What's
like to
what's
see
the
something
problem?
break.
What's the problem?
I don't know. I don't think we're pushing it hard enough. You know, we really, you know what you need? You need an outside agency that would push that, you know, that understands construction of, we'll call it multiple complexes, you know,
But I
Boston.
mean, isn't
you know.
maybe not the city plan, like Torello, or
Well,
the people who have those kind of jobs?
I would say Torello, or you could, I don't know how much we send out to, we'll say, to big real estate companies, you know?
But what's the big real estate kind does all the work?
Well, because there
around
may be a company in Minnesota that would like to come to Woburn, and we could have condos, their office, and a hotel or a restaurant, you know? I mean, it's almost a natural between 128 and 93. I mean, it's so easy to get in and get out. That's the biggest thing today.
Are the numbers good there?
You know, I used to say, if you build it, they'll come, you know? If we can only get one building committed.
You mean like a hotel,
Right.
convention center or
and a
something?
good-sized restaurant, you know? I wish Stragers, where he is, I
Yeah.
wish he was over on Commerce Way, where you could put an office building and a hotel beside him, you know?
Well, he might do that yet.
You know?
No, I don't see. I mean, it's a beautiful place up there now, but I mean, those guys are not adverse to changing location if that's where the people are. You know, like you say, you build it, they'll come. But if the people are going up Commerce Way, I want a sign out there that says my name on it so they know where I'm at.
If we were promoting Woburn, somebody's promoting Burlington, without a question. I mean, I would think probably the planning board. I don't know if they have a special in town hall, but somebody's promoting them. We should look at those signs that are on these developments and see if it's what company it is, because they usually have a sign up there about leasing.
Yep.
And we should look at those, and we should take them
But
down.
I mean, they went up there
you
and they bought all those buildings, whoever it was, he bought all those buildings up there.
Nodblum owned them, and then he kicked them. Yeah, somebody came in with
Then
some
they knocked them all down.
big money. I mean, and that's similar to our buildings.
Yeah.
They were 40 years old, flat roof type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of stories, and they bought them all, and it's.
Knocked them down and said, we're gonna have a brand new industrial park here.
Yeah, the other day I was talking to a town official from Burlington. He jogs around my house, and I went out to offer him a water, and geez, I said, I'm very excited about Burlington. What you doing? He said, Paul, we are banging off the wall. I said, I saw you get 6 or 7, 8 more liquor licenses. He said, we can use more. I said, you got 5 new restaurants. Is there that much of a call? He said, Paul, it's in these office buildings. He said, they eat in the morning and they eat at night. He said, he said it's.
When you go down past the Leahy and before you make a left to go into the mall, there's a place, a tavern on the green, whatever it is. So I notice, when I go there, I notice it all the time. But anyway, I said to the guy, I said, ever been there? And he says, yeah, but don't go there. I said, why? He says, because you can't hear. He says, there's all kids in there.
Acoustics.
You know, they got so many, got 50 TVs right lined up. Every game you can get from all over the United States is on there. You know, and they're all having a hell of a time in hooting and hollering. He says, you can't even have a conversation. But that's what the kids want. They want that atmosphere, and that's what they're building for them.
You know, the next time I see the mayor I just think we need to be more aggressive and we should have a booklet, a handout of Commerce Way and Mishawam Road, 93, 128, and showing what's permitted under the new zoning, which is the overlay. I really do. I think, and that should be advertised. That should be given to good-sized companies.
Because the overlay, it still goes down by that veterinarian hospital right down there too, right?
Yes, and it goes all the way over to on the edge of the dump. It cuts across Anderson Transportation and picks up the last building where the bridge is. You know the bridge?
Yeah, the bridge to nowhere, with the bridge. Oh, God almighty.
But that's a good, Eddie, I'm gonna make it a point, because I think that we should be promoting ourselves here. And because Burlington has far exceeded what I ever thought they would be in the last couple of years. I mean, you might say, well, are we out of a recession? Well, I guess we must be. If you look at Burlington, we're definitely out of it, you know?
Yeah. I want to take a couple of minutes. We got plenty of time anyway, but we might go home a little bit early today. But I was reading in the paper that the legislature is in session. And what are they doing in there? They're making the rules for the budget debate. I said, rules for the budget debate? I mean, that's even a joke, you know what I mean? So, the speaker comes out and says, vote yes, they all go, yay! That's it. Those are the rules. If you're a Republican, you might as well stay home. I don't understand that at all. Because if you said, ever since Ed King was governor, or Frank Sargent. Now, Frank Sargent, he was a pretty regular guy.
Yeah.
He must have had some good ideas. But these Republicans that are in the legislature now, if they have an idea, the Democrats, no debate. All year long you hear EBT cards and welfare. So now they say, what are the rules for that debate? Oh, no debate, no amendments on that. No, can't talk about that. No. So I said, geez, all year long we're talking about all these people that are beating the system, and now when it comes down to have a debate about it, they don't have a debate.
Majority rules.
Unbelievable. You know? So now I want you to tell me when I'm going to be able to go down and lay a $2 bill at the casino at Foxwoods.
Never.
Oh, no, I mean at Suffolk
Jesus,
Downs.
I'll take you with me.
Yeah.
Friday, if you want to go down with me Friday, because I'm If you're looking for
But
me,
if we
I'm
go
down.
to, yeah, if we go to East Boston, we're never gonna get there.
Never.
The mayor of Boston's gonna have that in the
You know,
courthouse.
I'm down at Foxwood, and I told them my grandmother was the Fagawi tribe, and they like me now.
Yeah,
you
so they
know?
like you now, because you're an Indian.
Yeah,
You're one
Indian.
of the
I got a little
Indians.
piece right here.
Yeah.
But anyways, you'll never, in our lifetime,
In our lifetime.
you will never place a bet on a casino in Massachusetts. They have screwed this up fairly well.
Yeah. Both sides, the marijuana and the
It's
casino.
just, it's unbelievable.
Now, this is a serious question. Every once in a while, I have these serious thoughts. It seems to me that the courthouse is the place where everything gets solved now. There's no, you're a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or an independent, or we go in the room, bang, 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 let's see if we can make a deal here. No deals. So everybody ends up in the Supreme Court. You know, the Attorney General, what's her name? Coakley, she says that the petition people signed is illegal, so they said, oh, it isn't. So now the Supreme Court's going to decide if it's legal or not, and therefore the Supreme Court will be saying, well, okay, you can put your
The question, and that question is whether you want to repeal casinos.
Casinos, yeah.
And, you know, I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to vote to repeal casinos.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
am
a
too.
casino guy.
I am
And the
too.
reason I'm going to vote that way is because this inner circle in that state house has screwed this up fairly well.
That's right.
And,
You're right.
and guess what? I'm going to tell you, and I'll tell you, if the election was tomorrow, it's going to pass.
Yeah, it is. It
How's
is
that?
going to pass, yeah.
It's gonna
If they let people vote on it, and it has nothing to do with the casinos. It's the way they went about doing it. It couldn't be any crazier.
No, and you know, Mayor Walsh, you know, he was a legislator, and now he's the mayor, and they all want a piece of this pie, and he wants a piece of it. He says, I'm a host city. The gambling commission, who was appointed by the governor, says no. Crosby, who's the chairman,
Should
is in
resign.
conflict of interest.
Yeah, he is.
And it's proven that he is, and he shouldn't even be in the room when people are talking.
No.
And he's not going anyplace.
No, he don't want to resign.
And they're making 140, 160,000, and guess what? They fly all over the world to look at casinos, and now they want Foxwood, who wants to build in Springfield, which there should be a casino in Springfield. They want $40 million in August. Put it here, unrefundable, and guess what? How about if the voters repeal it?
Thanks for the 40.
40. And my understanding is that the state budget is put together the figures on getting that 40 million.
Yeah, they put
Oh.
yeah. Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So
It's unbelievable.
I just-
I can't even go down the road now on the marijuana. The marijuana makes me crazy. It just makes me crazy.
And let me say this to you. You had the best idea, and I want to tell you, there's a guy named Flaherty who's back on the city council of Boston. He repeated what you said.
Yeah.
Why are we getting involved in where we're going to put medical marijuana? Why isn't it allowed to be in drugstores?
Yeah.
Quote.
Cool, yeah.
Okay,
I don't
now
get
that's
it,
a
yeah.
Boston legislator. Did you ever think of running for politics?
No. I did once. I ran for Alderman at Ward 2. They slapped me so bad I ran. I was hiding for a week. Yeah, Campbell was there.
Hey,
He was president at the time.
I want to give a shout out for Skyworks. Skyworks is a good company in Woburn.
Up on what's the name of that
They're up
street?
on right by the Stop and Shop and by
By the courthouse.
yeah, by the courthouse, and they're sponsoring a kids road race to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Woburn, and it's going to take place May the 4th, and at Library Park, and there's going to be raffles and a barbecue. So it's for the Boys Club. It's being sponsored by Skyworks, and we want to give them a shout out because Skyworks is a good company.
Good company.
Good company. We've been here a long time.
Helping the boys club out.
What were they before Skyworks? Kerry Okas was the boss there in the
I know, right,
60s.
yeah.
I'll think of it too.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
see,
do that too.
we're having that, what we call senior moments.
I'm having more and more of them, I'll tell you that.
Well,
All right, it was a pleasure doing business with you. You want to get out of here?
yeah, we'll go home and, what do we got tonight? Bruins,
Bruins,
Red Sox?
Red Sox.
So we'll be on the
Yeah,
clicker.
clicker.
No, can you remember getting up and changing the station? Your father would say, put it on 4.
Yeah, going on 4.
Get up. I was the gopher.
Yeah.
Now we just.
That we used to, remember they used to bring, you had to bring it down to that German, who was the German guy down there? Down by-
Roth.
Yeah, Roth.
Unse-
Carl Roth.
yeah.
Because the
knob.
the knob turned all the time. It wore the thing out. You turn it 5, 6, 7. Then you had to do 38 and do with the outside.
Across from Ellis Street. You remember him, Eddie?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
He was a German guy.
German guy, yeah. He lived right in
Nice
that house.
guy.
He had a store there
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, right across from the gas station. Good guy.
All right.
All right,
Hey.
next time.
Good night.
See you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.